Have you ever heard of a simple web link being called a key to destiny? Well, that's exactly what we're unpacking today. We're going to dive into OnPassive's Global Founders Link and try to understand how they're framing this thing, not just as a tool, but as the actual start of a movement. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so right off the bat, the source material makes a really bold claim. This isn't about, clicks or conversions. It's about connecting dreams to destiny. That one phrase, it pretty much sets the entire tone for everything else we're about to look at. So you have to ask, right? What's really going on behind all this powerful language? Well, that's exactly what we're here to find out. We're going to peel back the layers and take a look at the strategy, the key players, and the huge vision they've built around this one single link. All right, section 1. Let's start with the core concept here. The source material positions this referral link as, well, the beginning of a whole new chapter. See, it's not just about sharing access to a platform, it's framed as sharing a possibility. And this is a really key distinction they make. The source deliberately steps away from what it calls cold marketing, the impersonal stuff. Instead, they frame this as a warm invitation. It's a subtle but smart move, right? It's all about building a community that's based on a shared belief, not just, racking up user numbers. Okay, so who's actually sending out these warm invitations? That's a good question. And it brings us to a really important group at the very heart of this ecosystem, the founders. And as you'll see, their role is way, way bigger than just using the tech. So who exactly is a founder in this world? Well, they're not just early adopters. The source material literally calls them the backbone of the movement. And with this new link, their mission is apparently threefold. They're supposed to be guardians of a digital legacy, ambassadors for the ecosystem, and, get this, torchbearers of the next digital era. That's some pretty heavy stuff. And this really gets to the core of the whole message. A referral isn't just a number, it's not a transaction. It's the beginning of a story. And you can see how that narrative-first approach would be a pretty powerful way to build a real sense of shared purpose and, excitement within the community. Okay, so we've got the why, that big, grand vision. But how does it actually work, like in practice? Let's get into the how and look at the actual mechanics, which the source says is all about mixing simplicity with some really powerful automation. So the process itself, it's broken down into just 3 simple steps. First, a founder shares their unique link. Second, someone who's interested clicks on it to join. And third, the system just takes over. That's it. The source really hammers home that this automation is the key, because it's designed to handle all the complicated back-end stuff for you, just seamlessly. And these are the core features, the pillars that are supposed to be holding up that simple process. You've got all the things you'd expect, right? User-friendly, secure, automated, global, but that last one, built to reward integrity. That one's pretty telling. It suggests the whole system is designed not just for growth, but to encourage a very specific kind of culture within the community. All right, so we've seen the individual action, right? The single click. Now let's zoom out and look at the big picture. Because the source material has this massive vision for how all these little individual shares are supposed to create a huge collective impact. They actually call it the ripple effect vision. And it all starts right here with just one share, one link, one invitation. This single action is positioned as the catalyst, the spark for absolutely everything else. So from that one share, the very first ripple is just organic growth. The idea here is that the network doesn't grow because it's being forced, it grows naturally, as this energy and belief just kind of spreads from one person to the next. Then comes the next ripple, and this one adds an emotional layer to it all. It's not just about the network getting bigger in size, it's about the community becoming stronger. And it's described here as a family growing in spirit. And the final ripple, well, that's the ultimate vision. It's a mission that goes beyond borders, spreading all over the globe. And it's all powered by that one initial individual act of just sharing a link. Kind of wild when you think about it. So what's the engine that's supposed to be driving this whole ripple effect? Well, it all boils down to this one idea: shared prosperity. The core belief is that as the network gets bigger, everyone in it benefits. It's a vision of collective success, not some kind of top-down structure. Okay, so with this huge vision in place, what's the next step? This brings us to the final section, the call to action. This is where all these ideas we've been talking about get bundled together into a direct message for the founders. Now, to really get this call to action, you have to understand this one thing. The launch of this link, it's not being treated like a technical update. No way. It's being called a spiritual milestone. I mean, that's a really powerful way to frame it, isn't it? It suggests this is a moment of deep transformation for the entire community. And this quote from the company's leader, Ashi Mufera, it just perfectly captures that mindset. We are in it to win it. It's simple, it's confident, it's a rallying cry, designed to energize everybody and frame this whole thing as a journey to a victory that's, well, inevitable. So it all comes down to this. This is the final charge for the founders. And it's a real mix, right? You have the practical stuff, share your link, spread the word, and then you have the deeply personal stuff, stand tall, and maybe most importantly, believe. It really shows that this is as much about mindset as it is about action.
You know, what if a simple web link could be more than just, well, a link? What if it could actually be a gateway to real opportunity, and maybe even a lasting legacy? Well, today, we're going to break down the power and the purpose behind the new OnPassive founder referral link and see how it's aiming to do exactly that. And this quote right here, wow, it really captures the spirit of this whole thing, doesn't it? The big idea is that this isn't just some random URL you're sharing. No, it's being presented as a truly pivotal tool, one designed to connect the vision of OnPassive with its future. And hey, maybe even connect your own dreams to a real destiny. So what makes this a link to destiny? Well, the thinking behind it is that it's supposed to be a symbol of unity, of trust. It really represents a brand new chapter of connection for the entire OnPassive ecosystem. Now this slide, I think this highlights a really key difference in philosophy. We're not talking about cold impersonal marketing here. It's all framed as a warm invitation. The idea is, when a founder shares their link, they aren't just sending a URL. They're actually sharing possibility. They're extending the whole spirit of the community. And this illustrates the impact so perfectly. Just think about it like this. Every single click, every single person who signs up is like a new seed being planted. It's a direct contribution to the growth and the future of the entire ecosystem, and it's all nurtured by the belief of the community. Which leads us right into the founder's mission. See, with this new tool, founders are being positioned as way more than just users. They're seen as these crucial ambassadors for the next phase, essentially becoming guardians of a digital legacy. And that ambassador role, it comes with a really clear set of responsibilities. It's about spreading the truth about the platform, sharing the opportunity it presents, offering a sense of financial hope, and of course, guiding that next generation of users with total clarity and confidence. And that all leads to this really powerful question. It's a great reminder that every referral isn't just another number on a spreadsheet. It's a human story. It's a personal dream. It really makes you stop and think about the personal impact you could have. What kind of story will your link help write? Okay, so let's dig into the design itself. The philosophy here is all about a simple tool, powerful impact. The whole system was reportedly built on the vision of OnPassive's founder, Ash Mufera, and that vision is all about making incredibly complex technology simple and effective for anyone to use. And the process itself? I mean, it's designed to be as simple as it gets. You send your link, the other person clicks it, and boom, from that point on, the automated system just takes over, handling all the registration and onboarding. It's this perfect blend of a personal invitation and super smart, AI-driven efficiency. But don't let that simplicity fool you. Underneath it all is a really robust foundation. The system is designed to be user-friendly, totally secure to protect everyone's data, fully automated to cut down on manual work, and of course, accessible on a global scale. The goal was a tool that's both incredibly easy and completely trustworthy. And all of this brings us to the ripple effect. This is where we get to see how one simple share can actually spark an entire movement. And it's all through what the source calls organic, energy-based growth, which basically means growth that's driven by genuine enthusiasm, not just a big marketing budget. It all starts right here. Just a single, simple action. You share your link with just one person. But the goal here isn't just about numbers going up. The source describes the network as growing by energy. That means the expansion is meant to be organic, fueled by the shared belief and genuine excitement of its members. It's more than just raw numbers on a chart. And all that energy, it builds into this idea, a community that truly becomes a digital family, all united by a shared mission and a common purpose. So what's the engine driving this whole model? It's this principle of shared prosperity. The vision from founder Ash Mafare was apparently never to build some one-man empire, but instead to create an ecosystem that's designed from the ground up to benefit absolutely everyone who participates in it. And this idea of collective benefit, it's so key to this next part, igniting the movement. The perspective here is that using the link isn't just about getting referrals. It's also a training ground for becoming a digital leader in this new AI-driven world. You know, this quote right here, it gets right to the heart of it all. Lasting movements are built on real conviction, not just a bunch of clicks. It really emphasizes the importance of sharing the vision behind the technology. By guiding newcomers, you're building something way more durable than just a user base. And all of this, every single piece we've talked about, it is all leading to one single, powerful conclusion. The victory awaits. This moment, with the release of this link, is being framed as the very beginning of a massive new expansion phase for the entire community. The message they're sending is crystal clear. All the pieces are finally in place. The ecosystem is ready. The technological foundation is strong and stable. And the future is calling for founders to step up and lead the way into this incredible new chapter. And so, it all comes down to this clear, direct, and really empowering call to action. To stand tall with conviction in the mission, to share the link proudly, and to spread the word with both enthusiasm and wisdom. And we end on the ultimate rallying cry, reportedly from Ash Mufara himself. This one sentence is meant to capture the spirit of the entire movement. It's a declaration of confidence, of unity, and of the shared goal that lies ahead. The message couldn't be simpler. They are in it to win it. Welcome to The Explainer. So today we are diving deep into a fascinating document from OnPassive called Preparing for Greatness. And let me tell you, it outlines a training program that's way more than just learning about software. We're talking about a complete personal and financial transformation. Right out of the gate, the document hits you with this really powerful idea. It's framing this whole training program not as some simple update, but as this fundamental bridge, a bridge to a brand new reality for its members. That sets a seriously ambitious tone from the very beginning. So, let's break it down. What exactly is this training we're talking about? Well, according to the source, it's nothing less than the start of a whole new chapter. And it's not just about technology, it's being presented as a total paradigm shift for their entire community. And get this, it's described as a journey that's spiritual, mental, and transformational. The whole idea is to awaken the leader within each person. They want to get their members, who they call founders, ready to connect all this high-tech innovation with real human needs, and in doing so, help them find a new sense of purpose. So the training promises to pull back the curtain and show how all the core pieces of the OnPassive ecosystem are supposed to work together in harmony. You've got the OES platform connecting all the tools, the O Wallet, which is all about financial freedom, O Connect for bringing people together, and it's all powered by AI, driving toward what the source calls a mission of global abundance. Okay, let's get into the how. The source really hammers home this unique approach to learning and getting ready for what's next, and it has a very distinct name, the OnPassive Way. And this quote right here from the company's leader, Ash Mufara, is basically the core philosophy behind the entire system. It's all about being proactive, getting ready, instead of just reacting to things as they happen. In this slide, wow, it really lays out the contrast they're trying to highlight. You know, on one side, you've got the old way of doing things, just passively taking in generic information. But on the other, you have the OnPassive Way, which is described as this dynamic, interactive process where the AI actually customizes the lessons for you as it learns more about you. Now, a huge piece of this whole journey is building trust. The training makes a point to teach founders all about the ecosystem security features, everything from data protection and identity verification with O-Verify to secure access and totally transparent transactions. The goal is to build real confidence in the integrity of the whole system. All right, this next section is where we really get to the heart of it. The training isn't just about dumping information on people. The source material is crystal clear. The real goal here is transformation. So the first big promise is all about changing your relationship with time. The idea is that by truly mastering the system's technology and automation, founders can completely change how they spend their days, effectively multiplying their available time. And building on that idea, the text suggests that this very same automation can be used to turn everyday, routine activities into a potential source of income. It's about changing that fundamental relationship between the effort you put in and the reward you get out. And the third promised transformation is all in your head, in a good way. The idea is that by deeply understanding how the whole system works, founders can move away from a place of doubt or fear about the future and into a place of confidence and complete readiness. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting, because the journey they're describing isn't something you do alone. No, it's presented as this powerful, collective movement. You know, the document makes a huge point about how thousands of founders from literally every continent are all participating together. This creates what it calls a unified one family, where someone in Kenya or India or Canada is sharing the exact same experience. And this is the key takeaway, right? The entire training environment is built on mutual support. It's all about founders helping each other, moving forward as a team, with the big goal of making sure that absolutely no one gets left behind. And this line right here, it just perfectly sums up that whole collaborative vibe. It positions an individual's success as a direct contribution to the growth of the entire community. It's a real, we're all in this together mentality. So where is all of this heading? Well, it all builds up to what the source calls the ultimate vision, drawing a direct line from this intensive training to achieving personal freedom and creating a legacy that lasts. And they lay out this super clear path. The training is step one, the absolute foundation. The logic is simple. You master the system, which empowers you to take action. That action creates results, and those results ultimately lead to what they define as true financial freedom. And this really ties into the leadership philosophy they describe for Ash Mufre. The goal isn't to create a bunch of followers. It's about creating independent, equipped, and unstoppable builders who have everything they need from this training to stand on their own 2 feet. Things also take a bit of a spiritual turn here. The text actually calls the training a sacred assignment. It's described as preparation for blessings and prosperity, almost suggesting that learning is a prerequisite for receiving wealth. And this quote, man, it just elevates the whole thing to another level. It reframes the entire effort, shifting the focus from just individual success to being part of creating something significant and long-lasting, a real legacy. And to wrap it all up, the document ends with this incredibly powerful call to action. Rise, reset, refocus. It's this urgent, passionate plea for founders to commit completely, framing this training as the one key that's going to unlock their entire future. And the source leaves us with this final, really provocative question. It challenges you to, have you ever noticed how in any big movement, sometimes one single voice just seems to capture its entire energy? It's not just about, sharing information. It's about living and breathing the vision. Today, we're diving into OnPassive, the global AI tech company, and exploring how one key figure became the voice that translates its really complex vision into this powerful, unified message of success. And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? That moment when communication stops being just words and transforms into motivation, into clarity, and into unity. For the massive global community behind OnPassive, the rise of a voice like that was a total game changer for their journey. Any grand vision, and especially one as ambitious as OnPassive's, it needs so much more than just a brilliant idea on a whiteboard. It needs a messenger. Someone who can take that big, abstract picture and make it feel real, personal, and something that every single person involved can actually grab onto. And this is the real challenge, right? How do you bridge that gap between some revolutionary complex technology and the actual people it's supposed to help? How do you turn complicated updates and tech jargon into genuine understanding and keep a worldwide community fired up and all on the same page? So how did the OnPassive community figure this out? Well, the answer came in the form of one central figure who stepped up and took on that crucial role of being both a translator and, maybe more importantly, a motivator. That's right, that key communicator is Red Redfern. He became the voice tasked with carrying the very heartbeat of founder Ash Mufera's vision out to a community of founders spread all across the globe. But here's the thing. He didn't just demand attention, he earned trust. And he did it through these 4 key things: crystal clear communication, absolute sincerity, you could just feel it, an undeniable passion for the project, and a genuine, unwavering belief in what OnPassive is all about. This quote just nails it. His messages weren't just seen as like weekly status reports. For the community, they became a source of pure energy, a weekly reminder of their shared purpose, and a constant push forward. I mean, that's communication designed to literally move people. So pretty soon, his role evolved way beyond just talking. It became about managing the energy and the understanding of this massive global family of founders. Every single one with their own hopes, their own dreams, and of course their own questions.
And this is where his real talent just shines. He could take a complex piece of tech, like OConnect, their video conferencing tool, and frame it simply as a friendly conversation. He made the company's AI systems feel less like some distant, scary thing and more personal. And this lined up perfectly with Ash Mufareh's vision. Technology that serves people, not the other way around.
Look, in any long-term project, managing expectations is everything. And Redfern was like this stabilizing force. He consistently kept the energy positive, he made sure expectations were realistic, and he was always reminding everyone that, hey, building something truly great, it takes time, it takes patience. That's real leadership.
So when you boil it all down, his role became something so much deeper. He wasn't just passing along information. He was stabilizing the community's vibe, he was motivating them through the tough spots, and he was mentoring thousands of people along the way.
Okay, so this brings us to a really, really important idea inside the unpassive world. The good vibe of success. What does success actually look and feel like for them? Let's break this down a bit.
So let's just ask it directly. When we talk about success here, are we just talking about numbers on a balance sheet, or is it something more?
And here is the answer. For them, success is defined so much more broadly. It's about personal freedom, it's about continuous growth, and it's about making a real positive impact on the world. It's all framed as this shared journey where the whole community gets to the finish line together. It's not a solo race. This quote just perfectly captures that whole spirit. The ultimate way to measure success isn't about your own individual achievement. It's about collective upliftment. It's about how many people you bring along with you for the ride. So when you have that kind of foundation built on shared success, the focus naturally shifts to the future. And the message is loud and clear. Everything that's been achieved so far, that's just the beginning of a much, much bigger story. Now that is a powerful idea. It frames all the current wins not as the final destination, but as just the first chapter in a global legacy. It's telling every single founder that they are co-authors of a story that's still being written.
And the momentum for that future is really built on these three pillars. First, you've got the core vision from the CEO, Ash Mufareh. Second, you have the dedicated messengers like Redfern, who translate and spread that vision. And finally, and this is crucial, the founders themselves, the global community that provides all the power and belief.
And that leads us right to Redfern's signature sign-off, which has basically become a rallying cry for the entire community. It's way more than just a closing line. It's this final uplifting call to action that just perfectly captures the whole spirit of the movement, a shared belief in a future that's brighter for everyone,